graph number 3. So we're on this square now, right here. Is the loanable funds market, right? Loanable funds market is the market for loans. Now, that's what the graph is even called, right? But you have to remember, who gives loans? Banks. Banks are profit-seeking entities, which is why we have a upper sloping supply curve, because at high prices, or interest rates in this case, because it is just a basic supply and demand graph where interest rates are your price. All right, at higher prices, banks will supply more loans because they can make more profits. All right, consumers demand loans, which is why we have a downward sloping demand line. High interest rates cost us more to borrow. We don't borrow as much. Low interest rates, we borrow more. All right, but it is the relationship between banks and consumers, whoever those consumers may be, households, businesses, government, foreign sector, all right, over loans. All right, so loans cost money, in this case, interest rates. All right, so this is what your graph should look like. All right, do you remember, banks only have the ability to hand out loans because people save money. All right, so supply of loanable funds is savings. All right, the money banks have to loan out, which is their excess reserves. All right, so flip that page over once you get that drawn. All right, on the back, we're going to add in what can cause these lines to move. So what influences the supply of loanable funds, or people's willingness to save, and demand, or their willingness to borrow. All right, again, we have 4 people that can interact here: households, businesses, the government, and the foreign sector interacting with banks. All right, households, when we borrow money, we are demanding loanable funds. When we save, we're supplying loanable funds. Businesses borrow money. They borrow it for capital and investment to buy or build factories, machines, hire employees. All right, that's that IG business spending. All right, if they save money, we call it retaining earnings. They're keeping their profits to themselves. The government can borrow money. They do this when they have a deficit. All right, they have spent too much, and so they have to take out a loan or sell bonds. But either way, they're borrowing money, and so they're demanding loanable funds. If they have a surplus, in that rare case, they can save money, and that would increase savings as well. The foreign sector, it's called foreign direct investment. They just borrow money, like a household, except for they're from the foreign sector. When the foreign sector saves money, if they're adding to our supply, it is called capital inflow. If they are taking money out of our banks, it is called capital outflow. That's important for the balance of payments and for balance sheets. So keep that in mind. Those things are connected as well. So again, these are the reasons that this graph moves. So again, a lot of information. Really quickly, hit pause.